What's good people? Welcome to Whole Views. Thank you for clicking that thumbnail. Today we're going to be talking about Blue Beetle. So with this review, I feel like this is the best opportunity for me to explain my new rating system. So I used to do numbers, right? And I had scores in the description to kind of break things down as to why I came up with the numbers that I came up with. But numbers are for anybody. Anybody can do numbers. So I wanted to do something that is a little bit more my own style, my own flair. So I broke it down into 5 different categories for how I rank my movies, and I will explain it using DC movie titles, and then we'll get into Blue Beetle. So at the very top of my ranking system, I would say damn good is at the very top. And if I want to call a DC movie damn good, I think I would have to pick Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now, I am a Zack Snyder fan. It is 4 hours long, and there's nothing that I would change about it, besides maybe a little too much slow motion, but it's damn near perfect to me, and I enjoyed it. So that's why it gets that ranking of damn good. At the next tier is Pretty Damn Good, which would be Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. I really enjoyed that movie. I know a lot of people don't like its take on Superman, but I enjoyed its take on Superman. I enjoyed the movie that we got. I loved Man of Steel. It's pretty damn good. Not perfect, but pretty damn good. Next up in my rankings would be good. I would say the first Shazam. I would say the first Aquaman. Those movies were good. Definitely not perfect. Definitely can point out some flaws, but it's a fun time. It's a good time. We're gonna call them good. The 4th level of my ranking system would be all right. You know, Shazam 2, I feel like that was all right, and that's leaning positive. At the same time, you have, it's all right, and that would be The Flash. Leaning negative, just, it's all right, it's all right. At the bottom of my ranking system would be pure D trash. This is just garbage, hot dumpster juice. Only a few movies in all the movies that I've reviewed and seen actually fall into the trash category. And what was Blue Beetle? Would Blue Beetle be damn good, pretty damn good, good, all right, or trash? And I have to say, Blue Beetle is good. It's hella cheesy, but it's good. So let's talk about it. I would definitely say that Blue Beetle is good because you have everything that makes a movie, and all of it falls into that just good category. You have good performances. You have good enough writing. You have very good CG, and you have a very simple, straight to the point origin story. The movie feels very standard, and you know, if you look at the thumbnail for this video, it says cheesy goodness or good and cheesy. I don't know what I'm gonna decide to go with when I actually edit things down and throw things up, but that's how I felt coming out of the movie. It is a very standard run-of-the-mill superhero movie. At the same time, it has a lot of heart, but it also has a lot of cheesy moments. So I feel like it's in a situation where the good of the movie slightly outweighs the bad. I know some people will be completely taken out of the movie by some of the cheesiness that you get from the family scenes in the film. But at the same time, if you take the family out the film, you take a lot of the heart of the film out with it. It was good though. You look at the action, and my thought was, how could the visuals in this movie be so much better than the majority of the visuals that we saw in The Flash? The only conclusion that I can come up with, you know, pre-production phone calls, me and my best friend talking, the idea of Andy Muschietti coming out and saying The Flash looks this way because that's how he sees the world, like in this weird looking textures and all the CG looking how it looked in that movie. He said that was intentional. And I kind of believe him after seeing that, and then seeing Blue Beetle, which is a movie with a much smaller budget and just a superhero that is just as fantastical. You know, you have a guy with a full body suit that goes on and off and incinerates his clothes, and he can generate weapons, and you know, he can shoot beams, and it's very fantastical, you know, but it looks very good. Like, and I think they blended practical effects and CGI very well here, and you could tell that there is a practical suit that he's in, and you could also see when, you know, that suit has lights and his suit starts doing things that, you know, really just can't happen in real life. And I thought it just blended well, it meshed well, and all the fight scenes were super coherent, like you really know what's going on. And the story of it all is just so simple, you know, it's a guy trying to help his family, and then he runs into the situation that puts him as a hero in this world that they've built. And I really like the world that they've built because I know that this is like a part of the DC universe that James Gunn is gonna build. It's not really a part because he doesn't really have anything to do with the production of the film. But at the same time, those characters in like his mythos, self-contained enough as it was, will be just kind of ported over to everything that James Gunn is doing. And that makes perfect sense. I like it. All the DC characters were referenced in this movie. And I like that. The fact that we don't have to have this universe that only Blue Beetle exists in and there's nothing else outside of this character. Like, no, this is a world with Superman. This is a world with Batman. Talk about them as passing figures. They are not the central characters here. And I like also the fact that they didn't do the thing that the Flash did and just have these cameos, like people showing up for absolutely no reason for 5 minutes just to say that they were there. I like that we refer to those people and then there's no need to have these people show up or make their presence felt. This is a self-contained story. So that stuff is pretty cool as well. The idea that they have the Ted Kord Blue Beetle present in this movie, not physically present, but like he has a legacy. And that legacy kind of meshes what we already know about that version of Blue Beetle from comic books and video games and all that stuff. I was like, that's cool that you're giving him a nod and possibly, you know, laying the groundwork for him to be present in flashbacks or however y'all want to do things moving forward. As I was watching the movie, I told myself, this is actually a pretty fun ride. And I'm thinking to myself that I would watch this thing again if my wife wanted to come and see it. Or if anybody said, hey man, I didn't get a chance to check out Blue Beetle. Would you mind coming? You know, my other friend canceled on me. You want to jump in and come check it out again? I definitely would check it out again. I think it's worth a second look. In contrast, you know, The Flash is out on streaming now. Like I can watch it whenever I choose to watch it. And I've not come back to that. And I don't think that I'll be going back to that. Or if I do, I'll skip through and look at certain parts, you know, just get a little clarification. But it's not really a super fun ride that you want to take again. Whereas this Blue Beetle, I think it's fun enough to, you know, want to take that ride again. The action is really crisp, like I said, again, very coherent, and it's very entertaining. The family through line is what gives the movie heart. And I don't want to spoil anything here. I'll come back and do another spoiler video where I talk a little bit more in depth about the movie and, you know, specific instances. The family gives it flavor, you know, that Latin American flavor. And I really like that, you know, they really don't shy away from any of the Latin American issues in the world. You know, they talk about the word alien and the use of it. And George Lopez is pretty doggone funny in it. Like, it was a good time. It was a way better time than I had with Shazam 2 and The Flash. So it's probably gonna take the title of the best DC movie this year because my hopes for Aquaman are very, very low, like very low expectations for that film. But it's also probably gonna be the lowest grossing DC movie of the year, which is very sad. You know, I really wish, and I've had conversations about Latin Americans showing up to this and making their presence felt. Like, I know DC as a film studio has not really ingratiated itself to its fans. It hasn't earned that level of trust. But man, I wish more people would go see it because I think that this is a pretty good DC release. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. So that's about all I can say without really jumping into the spoilers of it all. So I'll stop right here, come back to the channel, check out the spoiler review when I talk about it in full detail. And that's all I got for this one, you know. Enjoy yourself, guard your heart, and go watch something good.